I've been in a relationship with my girl for a year now. And not to like boast or anything, but I'm genuinely so happy and so fulfilled with how the relationship is. And I'm making this video because I've had my fair share of mistakes with dating in the past. I've had a lot of hard lessons that I've had to learn the rough way. And I want you to be able to learn from my mistakes as well as where I've done well, where I've succeeded. Because if more young men can go on to have healthy relationships, to have better love lives, to find that right girl, I'll consider this a huge success. So just a quick disclaimer. This video is not gonna have a ton of dopamine and a ton of editing. This video isn't designed for like my own specific benefit to get a ton of views or to get a ton of subscribers or to, watch time, like all that crap. No, this video is designed for your benefit, for you as the viewer, for choosing to click on this video. I want to reward you with the best guide and the best advice I could actually give. And that's why I believe what's best for you is to not have all these edits and all this stuff, but to just tell you the raw, unfiltered truth. But the truth is, relationships require a high amount of discipline. And if you don't have the discipline to sit through a video that doesn't have a bunch of dopamine and edits, you probably also don't have the discipline to have a good relationship. So if you want to watch a video with a bunch of dopamine and editing, go watch like Mr. Beast or Ninja or something. So anyways, here are 6 steps to a healthy relationship. Number 1, you have to choose the right girl. Look, the reality is, if you're a man who's self-improving, who's bettering himself, who's going to the gym, who's reading, who's becoming his best self, you're gonna eventually get to the point where like a lot more girls are wanting to be with you. Like a lot more girls are gonna start liking you on Tinder. A lot more girls are gonna start approaching you in person. Or a lot more girls are gonna be interested in you when you approach them. But this doesn't mean you should just settle for the first girl that you see. This doesn't mean you should just settle for someone just because they've given you some attention, because you've been like desperate for a while. For the best relationship possible, you do not just settle for the first person. You have to wait for the right girl. So what does this actually look like? Well, maybe you're going on some dates and you go out with a girl and you kind of notice that she has a lot of red flags. She has a lot of qualities that you wouldn't want to have in a partner. And you know deep down in your heart, like, yeah, this girl, she's fun, she's good looking, and yeah, this has been a fun date, but I don't think she'd be a good relationship partner. Well, it's up to you as a man to have the discipline to walk away when you don't find the right person. You have to be willing to say no. If you're not willing to say no, if you settle for the first girl just because you're desperate, you're gonna end up getting in a relationship with someone who is not right for you, who's not the best person for you. Now, could you go on a date and fall in love and immediately find the perfect girl? Yeah, it's possible. That could happen, but do not get caught up in your emotions. Always look at the person you're dating from a logical perspective, because I see so many guys who start dating a girl and there's a bunch of red flags, but they're so caught up in the moment, they're so blinded by love that they overlook the things and they settle for the wrong girl. So you have to wait for the right girl. So what exactly does the right girl look like? Well, the number one thing when finding the right girl is that you feel confident in making her your girlfriend. You don't feel like you have to overlook a bunch of red flags. You don't feel like you're settling as well. You have the genuine belief that, like, yeah, this is someone that I could see myself being with for a very long time, even potentially marrying one day. So if that's the feeling that you have, that you're extremely confident in dating them, that is the first huge sign that they are the right girl for you. The next thing that I believe you should look for is someone who supports your goals. Not only someone who supports your goals, but someone who is ecstatic about them. Someone who, when you have a success, they cheer you on. Because your purpose is the most important thing. Your goals as a man are the most important thing to you. So you don't want to be with a girl who's undermining them, who doesn't believe in what you're doing, right? If you want to be a college athlete, she cheers you on. She believes you. She doesn't say, oh, well, that's not really realistic. I don't think, no. You get with the girl who believes in you. If you want to start a business, yeah, she's by your side helping you out. She's cheering you on. Because when you have a girl who supports your vision, who supports your goals, it helps you progress at such a faster rate. So that's what you have to look for. Also, another thing that you have to look for in a girl is someone who is your complementary opposite. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of the advice you'll hear, like maybe from your parents or from other people, is like, find a girl who you have everything in common with. I actually don't think that's great advice. I think like you want to be with someone who kind of balances out your weaknesses, if that makes sense. So for example, right, I'm a very like high energy person. I'm very extroverted. Like I like talking a lot. My girl, she's a lot calmer. She's, I wouldn't say she's introverted. She's more of an extrovert, but she has more of like a calming energy, whereas I have more of like an energetic energy. And the truth is that since I'm such a high energy, kind of like, that type of person, I need someone who, when I'm with, like after, a day of working and going to the gym and everything, can help me feel calm, can help me feel, more relaxed. And for some young men, they may be more of the calm type of personality, where maybe they need a little extra motivation. Maybe they need a little extra, someone who's gonna like hype them up a little bit. So in that case, you might want a girl who has like more of an excited energy. The book, The Way of the Superior Man, explains this very well. So if you want to like learn more about this concept, I would highly recommend checking that book out. Now, the second thing you need to do to have a healthy relationship is avoid complacency. I think one of the biggest crises for relationships that you see so many young men make, or not even young men, just men in general, is that they get in a relationship and they start saying to themselves, oh, like I have the girl now, so I don't have to go to the gym. Oh, I can cheat on my diet more. Oh, I don't have to take her out on dates anymore because I have her as my girl. No. You must understand, usually, right, when you're single, you're working hard. You're going to the gym because you want to get a girl, right? You're doing all these extra things. So, think about it from her perspective, from the girl's perspective. She sees you working hard. She sees you doing the right things. She sees you being disciplined. And then 6 months later, you get in a relationship and, you're fat. You're out of shape. You're not doing these fun things. You're not as attractive. Is she still going to see you the same way that she saw you before? No, of course not. Because you've fallen off. So that's why the second thing you have to do is you have to avoid complacency. Now, what does this look like? Well, the truth is, sometimes you're going to be tested. Your girl might want to spend, a lot of time with you, but sometimes you have to be willing to say no. Sometimes you have to know that, like, what's best for me isn't to sit down on the couch and watch Netflix all day. And I'm not talking about my girl. She doesn't do that at all. She, like, supports me doing my stuff. I'm just saying, in general, a lot of guys will be with girls who kind of want to just, spend all day with them and do all these things. So that's why in your relationships, sometimes you need to be willing to say no to something, even if it might be fun, right? Sleeping in and cuddling with your girl, watching Netflix, yeah, that would be fun. But is that going to be better for your long-term growth than going to the gym and getting a workout in? No, of course not. So you need to stay disciplined. You need to keep improving yourself and not get complacent, because if you fall down the rabbit hole of complacency, of getting worse, eventually she's going to see that in you and she is going to lose trust in your masculine frame. And if you don't believe me, make this mistake and learn from it the hard way, because it's one that I had to learn from in the past. It's a mistake that I made in a past relationship. So don't do that. Stay disciplined, keep improving yourself. And if you do that, I guarantee you won't like go through this huge thing where like the girl, loses respect for you and loses attraction for you. The third skill you must have if you want to have a healthy relationship is presence. Now, you've probably heard the term, right, be present, have presence thrown around all the time, but what does that actually mean? Well, first of all, let's explain what a lack of presence looks like. What a lack of presence looks like is you're on a date with your girl and you're going on your phone, you're checking social media, you're calling your friends, maybe you're sitting there and you're talking to her, but you're not really there mentally. Yeah, you're talking to her, but you're not really listening to what she's saying. Like you're kind of in your head, like overthinking things. So how do you actually improve this? Well, the first thing you have to do to improve this is you have to like take action towards it, because it isn't something that you're just born with for the most part. No, you have to do things like meditating and journaling. And you've probably heard like people talk about, meditate, journal a million times. So I'm not going to go too in depth into it because that's not the topic of this video. But if you don't know much about meditating, journaling, search up some videos on it. It'll drastically improve your life. But in terms of presence in a relationship, the main thing it comes down to is when you are with your girl, focusing on nothing but her. Not only being there with her physically, but being there with her mentally. When she talks, you listen with intent. You're not thinking about, what's the next thing I should say? No. You're focused on listening to her and being there with her. Something you must understand is that feminine energy, a woman's love towards you, grows through praise. And the book, The Way of the Superior Man, explains this in a very good way. So I've mentioned that book twice now. So I definitely would recommend checking it out if I were you. But basically, to sum up what it talks about, a lot of guys wonder why does my girl not respect me? Oh, why does she never do anything nice for me? But then when their girl finally does do something for them, they don't thank them for it. They don't say I really appreciate how you do that. So that's why something you must do as a man is that when your girl does something for you that you appreciate, when she does something that you want her to do more often, You praise her for it. You say, oh, like, I really appreciate how, you did that one thing for me. I really appreciate how, you helped clean up my room for me while I was gone. I really appreciate how, you made this great, dinner for us. That was so nice of you. I really appreciate that gift that you got me. And not only praising her for things that she does for you, but giving her compliments, hey, I just thought you looked absolutely amazing on our date last night. I thought, I just really appreciate how you've been treating me recently, how kind you are and how supportive you are. Because a lot of guys, they don't focus on this. What they do is they go, oh, like, my girl never respects me. She never shows me any care. But they're not being a good partner themselves. So what you must do is you must praise your girl. You must tell her when she does something that you appreciate. You must tell her, compliments when she looks good, when she does something nice for you. And if you do that for her, if you tell her when you appreciate something that she does, it further reinforces that behavior and it makes it more likely. And also just makes her appreciate you as a partner much more. So make sure when your girl does something for you, when she's being kind to you, when she is looking good, that you tell her that you make sure that she knows, because no matter how many times you tell her, no matter how many times you praise her, it'll never get old. She'll always appreciate it. Step 5, be a leader. A lot of guys also wonder why women don't respect them, but you look at the way they interact with women and you can't help but see why they don't respect them, right? They go on a date with a girl and they go, oh, what do you want to go do? And it's like, bro, feminine women want to be with a man who is masculine, a man who has a strong frame, a man who can lead. So what does this look like? Well, I'm not saying to be a dictator. I'm not saying that you always tell her, oh, you must do this. This is what you have to do, woman. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Lead in a healthy way. Always take her interest into account. Oh, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to go out to dinner. I like to go bowling. Okay, well that's what we'll go do for our date. You don't just be a dictator. You still take her interest in mind, but ultimately as a man, you're the one who makes the decisions. You view yourself as a leader, because if you view yourself as a leader, if you choose to lead the relationship, she will respect you more. She will want to be with you. Be a man who's a leader, not a man who's always looking to the girl to take the lead. Step 6, and in my opinion, the most important part, focus on self-development. Something that you must understand is that you attract the type of person that you are. So if you're not in a relationship right now, the harsh truth is that you're probably not the person you need to be. Because think about it. If you were in much better shape, if you were much more attractive, if you were more disciplined, if you had a higher work ethic, you were striving towards your purpose, would you still be struggling with women? Probably not. So if you want to improve with women, first focus on improving yourself, because it's all about becoming the type of person that you want to attract. If you want to attract high quality women, you must first become a high quality man. And then if you do have a girl, focus on leading the relationship in a healthy way. Focus on developing her. Focus on developing the relationship. Because oftentimes when you're in a relationship, you're going to come to a crossroad. Are you and your girl going to get worse, or are you going to get better? Are you going to be the relationship where both people are striving to be better, to improve themselves? Or are you going to be in a relationship where both people are losing themselves to the relationship and getting worse? And that all starts with you being a leader, leading in a healthy way, and also choosing a girl who has good habits, choosing a girl who goes to the gym, who eats healthy, who doesn't like go out and drink all the time, which is fine every now and then, but not dating a girl who's a partier, not dating a girl who smokes or does drugs or all these things. Choosing a girl who has similar values and who has similar interests to you. So anyways, if you found this video helped you, be sure to click the like and subscribe button, and also turn on the post notifications so you can see more videos like these. I'll see you for the next video, bro.